one of the other ideas of getting early feedback or planning with experimenting with selections or the in terms of choices is providing user toolkits. In this model, users design their own products. Users basically can think of their own requirement and kind of customize their model. So, one level of experimentation done at the user level. Toolkits essentially enable users to experiment with product features in relation to the specific needs and customize their own product. Toolkits is another way to access if the user needs is difficult to assess accurately. You can't, let's say, do a market research, or you can't do a lead user, which is essentially to gather customer information or needs appropriately. So, user toolkits help them to customers do the experiment and so on. So, this is basically product categories are very unique in that sense, is very individual specific, or there are multiple configurations possible in this case, and for you to anticipate that or difficult to meet directly. So, this is basically user toolkits help when there are kind of menu is available. Think of it as we go to the restaurant and the menu is also a user toolkit. You decide what you want to have and so on. These are your user refines that instead of your company providing, you give that. So, higher customization is basically in this case desired by users and can be provided by company with your toolkits, right. You can configure your requirements in a way. The user toolkits can enable users to customize their product as per their taste and preference, because there is heterogeneous demand or higher customization required. So, it is very difficult for the company to provide that. So, you customize it. Okay. So, this is when you there are, let us say, think of the color shade of a pen company. So, the toolkit is the shade card. So, that shade card helps you identify what color, a specific color you need. Then the company cannot produce so many different varieties. So, based on your choice, they will mix the original base colors and come up with a specific color. So, that is your providing the toolkit. So, the toolkits encourage users to experiment and discover their new configuration, which is not feasible for the company to provide. So, the customer does the prototype or customer does the experiment, and then company, it is easier to deliver that than giving multiple choices to the upfront to the customer. Okay. So, that is a basic idea of a toolkit. You can think of multiple uses of toolkit kind of feature where users design that and all, right. So, let us say that you are using certain airlines. So, what options you have? They give you search on a website, you will find multiple possibilities of route connections in different cities with different layover time, different pricing. So, they are giving you, so you identify your own route, you identify your own pricing, what time you will leave, morning or evening or whatever. There are multiple choices. The same airlines gives you multiple options, right. So, connections, multiple options, connections, multiple aircrafts and all that, you will get all that. So, this is your provided in a toolkit format. Think about your insurance companies or mutual fund companies. They have different buffet of kind of products, right. It's a different types of mid cap funds, different types of large cap funds. You identify what meets your requirement and you then pick some of those, right. So, fashion companies, you have, they display different accessory function. You can add accessories to add to your base fashion, your different more this thing, your buy the clothes, then the shoes and all, you add all that to add that. So, they have a certain templates, you can choose different models to do that. When you are, let us say, configuring a Dell kind of laptop, you can pick certain features, different types of features, and the company gives you a configured laptop where the mass customization is possible in some of this. Basic example, let us say the jewelry, you go to buy a jewelry store, they'll give you different options. And let's say in the you want certain necklace, they'll have different designs, different patterns. It can mix and match and deliver to you, right? You can decide in terms of what kind of combinations you want. You need not buy the specific this thing. They have different catalog, so you select different features from different catalogs and they can probably mix and deliver. The hairstylist, you go to the hairstylist, typically you can have very specific requirement. Basically they will have, for you see the pictures or the images displayed, you can provide your preferences. You can, your color or your image that you decide, your short, long, whatever you want, the stylist kind of provides your specific customized offering, right. This is your basic idea of a toolkit where your users have more ideas or experimenting in them. So, specific requirement in certain cases where mass customization is possible, but not possible for the from the company's end to standardize them. Okay.